As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, Boom Over the Bay is back this coming 4th of July. Many city residents had voiced displeasure that we hadn't had fireworks in recent years. In years past, Mercyhurst University hosted what were considered the city's fireworks, but they decided to stop. Since 2009, the fireworks have been put on sporadically, but the good news, we told you, they're coming back. Joining me now, Erie Mayor Joe Sinnott. Mayor Sinnott, thanks for joining us tonight. Just one of the things I want to talk to you about tonight, Flagship Niagara League and the Regional Chamber announcing details tomorrow about the return of Boom Over the Bay. I'm imagining you're happy about that one.
Oh, sure. You know, we really haven't been a part of this. This is really a community partnership to try to bring this back, so I've not filled in on all the details. Of course, they called us early on and asked us if they were able to put this together, would we be able to handle the traffic and things of that nature that we always do, and we certainly said absolutely. It's a good thing for the community if they're able to do it. My hopes are this. Number one, that they'll be able to put on a good show, which I think those two organizations would be able to do. And second of all, that it'll be something that'll be they'll be able to sustain over time. You know, after Mercyhurst stopped doing it in 2009, I believe we've only had fireworks once, and that was when the Jefferson had the Perry 200. And so, you know, it's been tough. It's tough to bring them, you know, once in a while and then have them go away.
Right.
So I'm hoping that putting this together will be something that will be sustainable for the long term, because I think that's the key to doing a project like this.
Now, we want to hit several topics here before we run out of time. Let's talk about the negotiated settlement on the assessment of St. Vincent Hospital, worked out between St. Vincent and the school district and also the other governmental entities. Do you think the $34.5 million is a fair value for figuring the hospital's payment in lieu of taxes?
You know, I think it is, Sean. I'll tell you why. That $34.5 million falls within the appraised value of the facility. So as long as it's within the appraised value, that's usually where you get the numbers that you come up with in the negotiated settlements. I think that you know, our pilot is really not one that's common. In fact, we have what I think is the best one across the state, because we get 50% of the appraised value for our pilots, where other cities aren't getting anywhere near that percentage. So it's a good program, and you want to work with the entities, because they are giving a considerable amount in lieu of taxes. And if you stay within the appraised value, usually you have a good number for that program.
And obviously important because, you know, we've talked at length over the years about the amount of property that's tax exempt in the city.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's not only the hospitals that are on that 50% program. There are quite a number of nonprofits that are on it, and it's very helpful to the community, because with approximately 42% of the properties within the city being nonprofit and tax exempt, it puts quite a significant burden on those tax-paying entities and residents.
All right, topic number 3, police departments all over the country getting a lot of heat for what's being described as a use of excessive force in some cases. As a result, many departments are fast-tracking the outfitting of their officers with the body cameras that we've seen and heard so much about recently. Is the city of Erie going to adopt a similar policy? You know, if not, wouldn't it be a good idea?
Well, I think the first thing to really keep in mind is that, you know, we as a city and a community, we don't seem to have, you know, those problems of the excessive violence that some of the other cities are experiencing. And I think that's worth mentioning, because it really says a lot for our police department and the training and the quality of our officers and how they deal with the community. You know, our complaints against officers have gone down to next to nothing, and I think that's a great thing for this community as a whole. Now, we've talked about the body camera program. I don't think that there's, you know, I don't think that there's any problem with it conceptually. I think it's a good thing to have the cameras there to record, you know, events as they happen. I don't think we would have a problem with it based on what I just told you about how our officers deal with the community and how well I think they're doing. But there's other issues involved with putting a program like that together administratively, how you handle the data, how you deal with requests for the videos, things of that nature. And there was probably 4 or 5 things that the police chief has identified as things we would really have to work out before we could implement a program like that, and things that he's been looking at and studying these types of programs in the eventuality that I think these will be probably in most cities around the country someday.
Hopefully.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a couple seconds, you can wrap it up.
It's something that we're looking at. Fortunately, we don't have an urgency because we don't have these problems, but we'll continue to look at it.
All right, Mayor Joe Sinnott, we appreciate your